Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about something super important, and that is self-confidence, knowing your worth, and how to improve your mindset. Having self-confidence and knowing your worth, how you speak to yourself, what you think about yourself, is really the foundation of success in all areas of your life. So today we're going to be talking about some really powerful mindset shifts and techniques that you can start applying today. For me, these have truly been life-changing. And I don't say that lightly. These techniques are so powerful and can have such a profoundly positive effect on your life. The first thing I want to get into is having positive self-talk. I think this is definitely one of the most profound and important ones when it comes to the topic of self-confidence and knowing your worth, because at the end of the day, we live with ourselves, and it's our responsibility to make sure that our inner environment, our inner ecosystem is healthy and is supportive. And literally every single human being has that voice, that negative, criticizing, yapping all day, kind of annoying voice. We all have it. Even if you look at the most successful, happy, fulfilled people, never think to yourself that you are different from them in the sense that, oh, they probably don't have that part of their mind that won't be quiet or that is criticizing. The difference is though that those people have awareness of that voice and have trained their mind to not believe that voice and to change the narrative, to stop the loop. A really great book that dives deeper into this is by Michael Singer. It's called The Untethered Soul, and I would highly recommend that. But in general, just knowing that we all have that, so don't feel bad or different or less than or like a victim when you're experiencing these thoughts. Know that you have the power to redirect your mind. So one example for this could be to ask yourself better, more empowering questions. So for example, if you find yourself thinking like, why is this happening to me? Why am I so bad at this? Why does my life suck? Why don't good things happen to me? So literally when you ask a question to your brain will answer that question. It's very smart in that way, but we can also use that for our positive benefit. So instead, when you find yourself asking these negative, kind of low vibe questions, replace them with things like, what can I do right now to make my life better? What are 3 things I can do to improve my situation or get me out of this hole that I feel stuck in? What is the next best step? So not always thinking like super big picture, but just what is the next step that would move me forward? What can I do right now to improve my income or make the relationship with my partner a little bit better? What is one thing that I could do today that would really make me feel happy and joyous? And just sit with that and see what comes up and listen to the answers that your brain is giving you and feel the energy shift in your body. Notice how it makes you feel. It's truly so powerful, and all it takes is a little bit of awareness, a little bit of patience to stop yourself from those negative thoughts or asking those low vibe questions and reframe that instead. Another example could be if you have this kind of persistent or repetitive thought that you literally think every single day. It could be a criticizing thought about the way you do something in your life, what you look like, a mistake you might have made that you feel regretful for, or any kind of negative or self-sabotaging thought that you might have. Bringing mindfulness and awareness to that, identifying that thought, and then stopping the loop, changing the direction of the thought, replacing that with a new thought and with a new story. And instead of going like this, go like this, Joe Dispenza talks a lot about this in his book, Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. I'll also make sure to have that link down below, but he really talks a lot about how we are so automatic. So much of our life is lived unconsciously and on autopilot, especially when it comes to what we say to ourselves, our thoughts. Studies have shown that we tend to repeat the same thoughts every single day, over and over again, and it really keeps us stuck in our life, and we keep living the same way, even if something really bad happened in our childhood, or we have some trauma or embarrassing thing that happened, or someone who made fun of us, or a bad experience at work or in life in general. We carry that on our shoulders subconsciously for years, and that then dictates the actions and the behaviors that we're doing today, even if that thing happened years ago, which is so silly. But we all do it, and it simply starts with cultivating awareness and mindfulness of our thoughts. Meditation for this is such an incredible thing. That alone has helped me so much in life, and I highly recommend getting into it. Of course, journaling is another great technique to get to know yourself and just to observe and witness what is going on in your mind. It does take some practice and some patience, but it is so worth it, and it can truly be life-changing. Another area when it comes to having positive self-talk that I think we can all relate to is when it comes to what we say to ourselves when we look in the mirror, when we're trying on clothes, when we've just gotten out of the shower and we're standing there in our nudeness. How are we speaking to ourselves? What are we saying about our body? We all have things about ourselves that we're not 100% crazy about and that we have to try extra hard to love and accept, and that's okay. That is another thing about being human. But there's truly no point to beat ourselves up about it and be super critical and negative about any part of our body, because our bodies are incredible and they do so much for us. They are literally our home throughout this life on earth, and it's so important to recognize them as much more than just the aesthetic. If you look in the mirror and you feel yourself starting to criticize any part of your body, immediately stop yourself, and instead of saying my chubby legs or my skinny arms or my flabby tummy, instead replace it with the word human and make it more neutral. So say my human legs, my human arms, or that is my human stomach, or my human chest, or my human feet, whatever body part that you are criticizing. That way it totally neutralizes all of the adjective and labeling of the body parts as either good or bad. For me, this is something that I find really helpful. Of course, you can also replace it with something really positive and beautiful, but sometimes in the heat of the moment, you might not feel like doing that. And also something that I try to do with myself is if I ever do feel like I'm criticizing something, I try to replace that with 3 good things about my body that I love. For every 1 negative thing, I do 3 good things. And that's also just like an automatic habit that I've really tried to instill in myself, along with just reframing things to be neutral and not always have to be like a good or bad thing. That has also been very powerful, and again, something that's very easy and simple to do in the moment. It again just requires some awareness, some mindfulness. The next thing I want to talk about is something that I learned a few years ago, and it stuck with me so deep, and that is to keep the promises that you make to yourself. This is something I learned from Ed Mylett, and it has been in my heart since the day I heard it. So keeping the promises that you make to yourself, showing yourself that you can count on you, recognizing that self-confidence has nothing to do with other people or how other people see you. It has everything to do with how you see you. And self-confidence is truly self-love. It's the love between you and yourself. In everyday life, we have lots of responsibilities to be there for other people, to care for others. Whether you're a parent or a student, you have responsibilities for your teachers. In your career, you have responsibilities for your boss or your business. But it's so important to be there for yourself and to follow through with the things that you set for yourself. So literally how you make appointments with other people for meetings or to see friends or to do things, make those appointments with yourself. If it's to work out or to paint or to read or to learn about something, put that in your calendar or schedule times to do those things just as you would with other people. Following through on the commitments and the promises that you made to yourself, that does so much for your own self-confidence, because it shows you that you can count on yourself and that you can be there for yourself, and that is everything. You also have to like who you are and do things that make you proud. You have to go to bed at night with a clean and pure heart and know that you lived to the best of your abilities and with the most integrity and with the most love and value for yourself and for others. Even if you slipped up or you did something that you're not that proud of, then just recognizing that and seeing where you could do better tomorrow, or a little change that you could make to kind of correct that. And with that, getting out of your comfort zone and challenging yourself. There's a saying that you have to get comfortable being uncomfortable, and that is truly such a way forward when it comes to success and building a positive relationship with yourself, because we can all go on, again, that autopilot, being in the backseat of your life, not really making any improvements, not challenging yourself, not stepping out of your comfort zone. And it might be very comfortable in the moment, but it's going to be slowly chipping away at your soul. Years can go by and that pain can just keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and we have to stop it. We have to choose a better way. The third thing I want to talk about, which I also find so helpful, is to keep learning new things. The saying that knowledge is power power is so true on so many levels. For me, it's a real confidence booster when I learn about something new and I educate myself further on something that I find interesting. It's so empowering and fulfilling to learn more about life, our bodies, our planet. And I feel like when we make a conscious effort to keep learning and keep educating ourselves, it just does something to our brain. Like it keeps us sharper, younger, more open-minded, more compassionate. I love to read books. I also love to listen to books on Audible. I love podcasts and of course YouTube videos. Another really great platform that you guys know I love is Skillshare. They have thousands of online courses. I recently took a really interesting class by Erin Boyle. It's called Everyday Minimalism: Find Calm and Creativity in Living Simply. I loved this course. I wouldn't say I'm a minimalist, but I definitely appreciate and love some of the principles that minimalism teaches in terms of keeping a simple, decluttered home, having fewer things, but things that are really meaningful and are very functional and serve as like multiple things. I love that. So this course was incredible, especially for right now also with it being spring. She really shares a lot of helpful tips and some great techniques on how to minimalize your space, your belongings. So I would highly recommend her course. And in case you guys have not heard of Skillshare yet, they are an online learning community with thousands of inspiring classes for creative and curious people. You can explore new skills, you can develop existing interests, and you can just get lost in creativity. They have great courses on productivity, entrepreneurship, photography, graphic design, lifestyle classes as well, like this one, but they also have some great ones on self-discovery, on interior design. And if you're uncertain about what's next, then creative challenges and productivity classes can be a really great way to help you structure your time and set up achievable goals. So whether you want to do something really productive and positive with your time, or you want to practice self-care through learning, through creativity, then Skillshare is truly such a great and positive environment. If you guys want to try Skillshare, then the first 1,000 people to click the link in the description box down below will get a free trial of Skillshare Premium membership, and after that it's only around $10 a month. So I will make sure to have this information down below in the description box for you guys, but I would highly recommend them. I've been using them for so many years and I think it's such a great resource. The next topic I want to talk about when it comes to self-confidence is to take care of yourself and recognize how you feel when you put effort and love into your workouts, how you get dressed, how you treat your body, the kinds of foods that you eat, again, how you speak to yourself like we talked about in the first point. But even just recognizing when you do little things for yourself, like maybe a manicure or doing your hair, or maybe some days not doing your hair, but just putting that love and that effort into yourself, seeing how that changes your energy, your mood. And sometimes it can be like the most simple and non-important thing that you might think of, but it actually makes you feel really good. Also taking some time to reflect on who you are, like 2.0, like who is your 2.0 self? Who is your higher self? How do they show up? What do they look like? How do they carry themselves? And how do they deal with certain situations in your life? And being mindful of that and asking yourself like, okay, how would my higher self deal with this situation right now? And choosing to go in that direction instead of that like autopilot, unconscious voice that we all tend to run on when we're not being very mindful or self-aware. Again, recognizing that we have a choice in the moment. We can either go down this path or we can go down this path. And usually the outcomes are very different. But again, it takes that mindfulness and that awareness and that little pause in your mind to evaluate like which direction you want to go in. Really taking care of yourself and treating yourself like you would a loved one, like you would a baby or somebody you really love. Like if their life was in your hands for that day or for that moment, how would you treat them? How would you talk to them? Really being mindful of that and treating yourself from a place of love and care and compassion. And that goes for all areas of your life. So how you take care of yourself physically to emotionally, mentally. And then the last thing I want to talk about when it comes to improving your self-confidence and improving your self-worth is to do something good for someone else and to get out of your own head and to actually shift some of the focus away from yourself and to put it on someone else. There's always something that we can do to help another person, whether that is literally one person or a group of people. We all have our unique talents and abilities and qualities and things that make us so special and unique, and gifts that we can use in our own ways to make a positive impact and a positive difference in the world. So for me, for example, I love my career here online with you guys. It literally lights me up. It makes me so happy. I'm so grateful. But even if you don't have like a larger audience online, doing things in your daily life to one person or to your family or even somebody that you don't know personally, then that can make such a huge impact, of course, in their life, but also for yourself. I think when we tune in and we can tap in and use our unique abilities, it just does something to our soul. It literally, it's like a spiritual experience. It lights us up and it makes us so happy and feel so good and feel so confident on a soul level, on a very intercellular level, to do something that we feel makes a positive impact and a positive difference to the world. Do something kind for someone else, call someone, see how you can be of service, see how you can help them. I hope that you guys found this video helpful and interesting. I would love to know from you, what are some of your tips or techniques that you would say that have really helped you to improve your self-confidence? Definitely share with me and everyone else watching down below in the comments. I hope that you guys are all having a really nice day. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next one. Bye guys.